Hi, my name is Kelsey Berglund and I'm going to do a usability test review for the installation instructions for Google Chrome for a Mac. I chose two participants for the review. The first participant was moderately aware of how to use a Mac, while participant number two was typically a PC user and is unfamiliar with Mac functions. As far as installation instructions go, the Google Chrome instructions were pretty straightforward for somebody that is pretty familiar on how to use a Mac. So I chose these users so that existing knowledge did not interfere with how well they interpreted the instructions to be. They were more so forced to find the holes in the instructions. So each of the users experienced their own troubles throughout the process. However, step two was the first one that stood out where they both really had a problem. So both users had trouble locating the Google Chrome file once it was downloaded. The instructions are not really clear about where the file goes once it is downloaded. This step took the longest for both of the participants, and both of them struggled to find where they were going to originally grab the file from to drag it um, to the applications folder as in the next step. So participant one actually found it on accident because she was hovering over my icons on my toolbar and clicking on random things, and she found it by accident and then was able to move on to the next step from there. Participant two found it because he recognized the little download hard drive symbol or whatever that is. So he was able to click on that and then move on to the next step. But both of them kind of struggled and were frustrated for several minutes. Step four also presented some problems for the participants. That one also caused a lot of confusion. And whereas it didn't seem to take as much time, they seem to be more frustrated with this portion. Participant number one was able to drop the Chrome icon into the applications folder as the pop-up suggests. However, she was kind of unsure where to go from there once she dropped it in the folder. So again, she happened to find the applications folder with the entire list of all of my applications just by kind of clicking around. So it wasn't very intuitive where to go. She just found it on accident once again. For participant number two, the window actually opened smaller than it did for participant one. So the logo on the bottom, as shown in the screenshot in the previous slide, there was no applications folder in that window unless you were to scroll down. So that caused some confusion by itself. And then the concept of drag and drop was also unclear. He was able to use some context clues and he dragged and dropped into the applications tab. But that was also another issue for me as someone watching the test. I was unsure how that applications tab even got opened. But once he figured out what was meant by drag and drop, he was able to drag it into the tab just like participant one was able to drag and drop into the folder icon below the Google Chrome icon. In conclusion, the lack of detail or explanation in steps 2 and 4 caused the most confusion between both participants, but I think adding some graphics or adding some more detail would help guide the user more thoroughly. The current instructions kind of make the user fill in the gaps themselves, which leads to confusion and frustration.